It is the largest cash seizure in Miami-Dade police history. Over $24 million found inside the
1.8 million right here. The $20 bills section.
What could anyone realistically be doing with $330 million in cash? That's the kind of question that instantly grabs attention, and it's exactly the kind of claim that sparked headlines around Floyd Mayweather Jr. According to reports, a shocking amount of cash was allegedly discovered at one of his Miami properties, with stories suggesting investigations tied to tax issues from his active fighting years. On top of that, there have been mentions of lawsuits, unpaid debts, and even rumors involving questionable financial dealings, including cryptocurrency. But this is where things get complicated. Claims like these often explode online before all the facts are fully verified, blending confirmed issues like tax disputes or legal battles with speculation and exaggeration. And when it comes to someone as high profile as Mayweather, the line between reality and rumor can get blurry very fast. What's clear though is this: whenever massive wealth, legal pressure, and public scrutiny collide, the narrative quickly turns into something much bigger than just facts. It becomes a story everyone has an opinion on. Udane and subscribe for the latest coverage.
Money made, money made, money made all day. You know, right here, a light million. Over there, counting up another million over there. Walk with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you into my life. So Andrew Jackson, of course, is on the 20. Benjamin Franklin right here. You know, money made all day. We in the bank, doing what we do best, counting money.
Authorities reportedly first attempted to freeze accounts linked to Floyd Mayweather Jr., only to realize that much of his wealth wasn't sitting in traditional banks. That's what allegedly led to deeper searches of his properties in both Miami and Las Vegas. According to the story, his Las Vegas residence didn't reveal much, but the Miami mansion? That's where things supposedly took a dramatic turn. Investigators are said to have discovered a heavily secured hidden room, one so tightly protected that it took hours to even gain access. Security personnel on site reportedly claimed they had no knowledge of how to open it, adding even more mystery to the situation. After a long effort, the room was finally forced open, and inside, they allegedly found massive amounts of cash, so much that it became difficult to even move it all at once. A discovery like that, if true, would instantly raise more questions than answers and push the entire situation into an even more intense spotlight.
The cash was behind this wall in the attic, packed in orange Home Depot buckets, 150 grand in each.
While all of this was supposedly unfolding, Floyd Mayweather Jr. was reportedly nowhere to be found. The property was sealed off, everyone on site was removed, and authorities placed it under heavy guard. Alongside the alleged cash discovery, there were also claims of documents being found that raised further questions, enough, according to the story, to warrant calling Floyd in for questioning. But as of now, there's been no official response or public statement from him addressing these accusations. That said, it's important to understand that narratives like this can quickly spiral into speculation. Claims of raids, hidden cash rooms, and criminal charges are extremely serious, and without verified confirmation from credible sources, they remain allegations, not established facts. Still, the situation, real or exaggerated, shows how fast public perception can shift when controversy, money, and a global name collide.
Money made, that's all I do is get money. Today is a rose gold day, as you can see.
Fans didn't hold back after the story started spreading. Social media lit up with reactions, some joking, others straight up accusing. A few even claimed the cash couldn't be real, suggesting it might be fake or exaggerated. Others went further, saying it was only a matter of time before Floyd Mayweather Jr. faced serious scrutiny. The tone quickly turned sarcastic, with people mocking the idea of massive piles of cash and comparing it to something straight out of a movie. Some comments took aim at his larger-than-life image, joking that the stash matched his personality, big, flashy, and impossible to ignore. And then, there were those who shifted the conversation entirely, arguing that if such wealth really existed, it should be put to better use helping people in need. it became less about facts and more about public reaction proof of how quickly narratives can turn once the internet gets involved.
The $20 bills section. We like to call this the Andrew Jackson section, but I like to call it wallpaper. 200,000 in 20s.
The reactions kept pouring in, and some fans didn't hold back. One joked that Floyd Mayweather is living in a real-life Monopoly board only this time. The money isn't fake, and according to them, it might not all be clean either. Another took it even further, saying his pile of cash is so massive it could bend gravity, hinting at shady moves behind the scenes. Others felt this moment was inevitable. One comment summed it up bluntly. After years of bragging, flashing wealth, and talking big, it looks like reality might finally be catching up with him. And now, the authorities are stepping in.
Like 1.8 million, you know how it is. Check it out. Let them know it's all hundreds. Money man.
One last fan chimed in with a sarcastic twist, wondering if Floyd Mayweather runs his exhibition fights on a cash-only system, joking that maybe that's why the money seems to disappear just as fast as it shows up. They even joked that authorities might as well auction off the piles of cash and turn his signature money image into merch, funding his next big promo run in the process. Despite all the noise, the undefeated 50-0 icon built his name on pulling in massive paydays inside the ring, and even in retirement, he continues to showcase that lifestyle. Not long ago, the American star shared a clip flaunting a rare custom timepiece linked to Arnold Schwarzenegger, an oversized designer bag from Chanel, and stacks of cash spread across a table reportedly totaling around 1.44 million euros. Floyd Mayweather didn't stay quiet either. In the caption, he pushed back at the criticism, saying people often claim the loudest voice in the room is the weakest, but according to him, that only applies to those hiding something. He made it clear that in his case, he's proud to show off what he calls legally earned success. He highlighted his journey from poverty to the top, emphasized beating the odds, and made it known he doesn't care about outside opinions. Wrapping it up with a bold tone, he called it his version of independence and signaled that the celebration was just getting started. On top of that, he shared another post, a simple photo of himself surrounded by cash paired with a direct message aimed straight at his critics, making it clear he's not backing down anytime soon.
Of course, in this world, I don't always play into, worry about what anyone says about me. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't doing none of that. I said, let me have some fun. Let me play with the people.
Yeah.
And, actually, man, something I want to show you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me show you something.
Okay.
I
like being educated.
Okay. Man, one thing we don't.
For more than 2 decades, the same criticism has followed Floyd Mayweather, that he constantly shows off his cars, jewelry, luxury homes, relationships, fashion, and above all, his money. But Floyd had a sharp response ready. He fired back by saying, while people spent 23 years hating on him, he was busy building a legacy they could never match. There's no denying his financial success. Widely considered one of the wealthiest athletes ever, his fortune is estimated around $450 million, with total career earnings surpassing $1.1 billion. And in his latest social media burst, the 47-year-old gave fans another glimpse into that lifestyle. He kicked things off by posting an Instagram story featuring massive stacks of cash, what looked like hundreds of thousands of dollars spread out across the floor.
It's really show account numbers.
Uh-huh.
But man, last time I checked, it's still right there.
Ooh, hold on, let me get. Oh shit.
Man, it's still right there.
Oh shit.
I still got it.
Okay.
I still got it just for the record. I still got it just for the record.
Okay. Damn. She ain't gonna be bullshitting.
Still got it just for the record. I still got the 100. Still got 100 mil I ain't never even touched. That's just for the record.
Later, Floyd Mayweather was seen standing on the airport runway posing for cameras before moving in on his custom private jet, already prepared for departure. The aircraft stood out with its sleek silver and gold design, featuring bold TMT branding for the money team on the tail, along with his name written across the body. As he turned toward the jet, he shouted a confident line, "Not bad for a high school dropout." However, the reaction online wasn't fully impressed. Some fans push back, with one commenting that he comes across as deeply insecure despite all the luxury on display.
Time to go, let's go.
Damn.
It's just for the record.
That's just for the record.
That's crazy though that after all these years, they still.
It doesn't. The thing is this, man. You must realize this. Just about life. The thing is this. If you don't have no money, you ain't gonna have no money problems. You know what I'm saying? For you to even have any money.
Online reactions continued to pile up against Floyd Mayweather, with critics taking aim at his constant display of wealth. One user went as far as calling him a clown and claimed he comes across as extremely insecure. Another comment suggested that people who feel the need to constantly show off are often trying to compensate for deeper self-doubt. The criticism didn't stop there. One harsh remark even mocked him for supposedly lacking education, while others dismissed his lifestyle posts altogether. Some users added sarcasm to the mix, with one writing that he thinks he's inspirational and another jokingly asking if he'll ever go broke again.
But keep them talking about what you're doing. It's obvious you must making some noise some type of way. So I'm making some noise some type of way. Whether it's in the ring or out the ring. Like I showed the people, actually, I paid, I think it was in 2015, I think I paid him, that was just 3 checks, but I gave him another check. I think I gave him over 34 million. That's what I paid. Got 2 different colors, check it out. Go down here. Look at the color up top. Time for me to go to bed. Time for me to go to bed. I'll see you guys in the land.
While much of the discussion stayed negative, not everyone agreed with the criticism aimed at Floyd Mayweather. A few supporters stepped in to defend him, with one praising his journey from dropping out of school to reaching the very top of the sport, calling his success a clear result of discipline and talent. Another fan doubled down, labeling him the greatest boxer of all time and celebrating him as the true GOAT. Despite the mixed reactions, Mayweather himself continued to stand firm online. He insisted that his financial empire is secure and unshakable, while also brushing off recent attention from tax authorities, suggesting they are simply trying to stay involved in the spotlight he's built around the Money May brand.
About half of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he's in Nevada, so which is no state tax. So basically, all you have to do is give him that 33%.
Yeah.
Skip, I get it, and I get the fact like all they're gonna do is waste my money anyway. But that's not the way you do it.
That is not.
Rumors quickly began circulating online about Floyd Mayweather, with some claiming he may have shared a misleading tax document on social media to shape public perception. The allegations spread fast, adding even more fuel to the ongoing debate around his finances and public image. At the same time, his long-standing nickname, Money, continues to define his brand built on dominance in the ring and massive earnings outside of it. Mayweather has also publicly stated that he paid an 8-figure tax bill over the past year, sharing the information on his social media to reinforce the scale of his wealth and financial activity.
These 4 special timepieces right here come as a package. Forbes just done a crazy story on the Hue collection. I need you guys to go check it out. Now, when I travel, I like to take 7 watches, 7 Ivy & Co watches. Now, I know in the past, I talked about 30 watches, 40 watches, but now it's all about the Hue collection and these 3 watches. Ivy & Co, Let's Go, the Hue collection.
Floyd Mayweather is widely regarded as one of the richest figures in sports history, thanks to massive fight earnings built during his dominant career in the ring. The Money nickname became part of his identity, reflecting both his unbeaten record and his ability to turn boxing into a financial empire. Even after officially retiring from professional boxing, Mayweather has stayed active through exhibition bouts, while also expanding his portfolio with multiple businesses and real estate investments. Around December, reports also surfaced suggesting a potential agreement for a high-profile rematch with Manny Pacquiao in an exhibition fight, possibly taking place in Japan, reigniting one of boxing's most famous rivalries in a new format.
Is wild. Yeah. Well, and not to mention that could be proven, right? You just take the camera. You don't have to tell the audience it's sold out. Just take the camera and show us if it's sold out. I mean, it's as simple as doing that. Can I tell you one that's interesting? Floyd Mayweather, just before he came Floyd, he was Pretty Boy Floyd, in fact, at the time. The year was 2005, Portland, my hometown, and he fought Sean Bay Mitchell, who was a former world champion. So they fought
the tassel shorts.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah. Good memory, by the way. Gooseman promoted that.
Floyd Mayweather continued his usual bold presence on social media, posting what he claimed was proof of a major tax payment along with a confident, attention-grabbing caption. In his message, he stated that he had just paid over $18 million to the IRS, referring to it as part of his financial responsibilities, even while retired. He added that if this is what he owes now, people can only imagine the scale of taxes he paid during his active fighting years. Over the years, Mayweather has often made similar statements about his wealth and earnings, frequently highlighting huge fight payouts and large financial figures tied to his career. He has previously referenced massive checks from major bouts, including his mega fight with Manny Pacquiao, using them as examples to emphasize the scale of his earnings and his confidence about his financial standing.
I paid, what, cut a $100 million check to the IRS. Yeah. Give him $100 million. Now, if someone in this camp introduced him to someone that knew the game and that could save him money, he would look at that as a business move.
The situation surrounding Floyd Mayweather's tax matters has also drawn attention from media reports and legal commentary, though many details remain unconfirmed publicly. His tax attorney reportedly did not respond to requests for comment, and it is still unclear whether any authorities attempted to withhold earnings from his high-profile fight against Conor McGregor. Officials have also stayed largely silent on the matter, with both regulatory bodies and tax agencies declining to comment on individual cases. In general, however, financial enforcement actions are often paused when a taxpayer formally disputes a claim. According to legal commentary attributed to sources like Stephen A. Smith, Mayweather had previously filed a petition with the U.S. Tax Court based in Washington, D.C., seeking to have his case heard in Las Vegas. Legal experts note that this type of filing usually follows a failed agreement between a taxpayer and IRS officials over how an alleged debt should be resolved.
But then he has security. Well, if it don't work, at least got the money to pay him off. So I think it's a low risk, high reward for him. So I think in that situation, people with money like Mayweather, they'd be like, oh, I'll try.
The ongoing appeals process may have given Floyd Mayweather additional time to secure and manage earnings from his major August fight, potentially using those funds to address outstanding tax obligations. Legal experts, including former IRS professionals, have noted that tax court proceedings can take a long time, especially when judges only visit certain cities like Las Vegas once or twice a year, meaning cases can be delayed for months before being heard. Reports also suggest that a 2015 tax lien is part of a broader history of disputes between Mayweather and the Internal Revenue Service, with multiple filings reportedly appearing over the past decade. Despite this, no clear outcome has been publicly confirmed. In contrast, comparisons have been made with opponents like Conor McGregor, who has not been linked to similar tax issues in the same period and is often described in reports as maintaining a debt-free status in his public financial records. Ultimately, Mayweather's career is often divided into two iconic chapters: the Pretty Boy era of precision boxing and the later Money Mayweather era, defined by showmanship, fame, and massive financial success.
I really am disappointed. The thing is that Floyd is what they call an independent contractor. And what happens is that when you become an independent contractor, Skip, if you make $230 million, they give you two checks or a check for $230 million. It is up to—
The two phases of Floyd Mayweather's career are often described in very different ways, both in style and in financial impact. In the early Pretty Boy era, his approach was built on aggressive dominance, speed, and knockout power, earning him respectable paydays while competing under major promotions. During that time, his earnings were solid, but not on the scale he would later reach. The later Money Mayweather era, however, marked a major shift. His fighting style evolved into a highly defensive, tactical, and calculated system that prioritized control and precision. Alongside that change came an explosive rise in earnings, with fights generating hundreds of millions and turning him into one of the highest-paid athletes in the world. While some narratives online contrast these eras in extreme terms, especially regarding financial behavior, there is no confirmed basis for claims of fraud or falsified tax documents. What is clear, however, is that his transformation from Pretty Boy to Money also mirrored a dramatic rise in global fame, business success, and fight revenue.
He would have taken this fight anyway. It's hard to turn down $200, $300 million, Skip. But it looks to me that a major driving force between him, because I always thought it was Conor that wanted the fight. He wanted the big payday.
Yep.
But deep down, Floyd needed this payday because he got to settle the score. And let me tell you how the IRS works, Skip.
Bone referred to the person as Suge, and the judge indicated there was case law that said a unique name could be the basis to prove identity. And the case he showed, I think, is different than what the law is. I mean, it's a very limited circumstance when that was admissible. And the cases we pointed out to him said that's not the case here. So that's a change of circumstance, in our opinion. So we wanted the judge to—
Floyd Mayweather has reportedly addressed a tax obligation exceeding $22 million owed to the Internal Revenue Service, with reports suggesting the amount was ultimately covered using earnings from his August 26 fight against Conor McGregor. According to media coverage, his financial team approached the situation through a legal strategy tied to liquidity timing. The filing reportedly stated that a large portion of his assets were not immediately accessible, and as a result, a structured payment arrangement was proposed until his fight payout became available the following month. Once the funds from the McGregor bout were received, reports indicate the tax bill was settled in full. The situation has often been analyzed in financial discussions as an example of how high-earning athletes manage large tax obligations in relation to delayed fight payouts and complex income structures.
Logan Paul!
Floyd Mayweather and his legal team reportedly used a financial strategy focused on delaying immediate payment of a tax dispute while continuing to earn returns from active investments. According to statements attributed to his attorney, Jeffrey Morse, the approach was described as a calculated business decision. The argument was that if Mayweather's investments were generating returns higher than potential interest or penalties owed to the IRS, then temporarily deferring payment could be financially advantageous for him. In that view, the legal petition was not only about contesting timing, but also about preserving liquidity, allowing him to keep capital working in investments while the case moved through the tax court system. The overall strategy was framed as a business-style decision aimed at maximizing earnings during the resolution period rather than immediately settling the full amount up front.
Romania going after him? Are they being pressured by someone else to do this? What is the reason why they're doing it? And what do they have on him? I don't know.
But nobody knows. A lot of people are acting like they know. If you go read it, everybody...
Both of the approaches discussed above carried clear risks for Floyd Mayweather. Tax authorities like the Internal Revenue Service don't always respond in predictable ways, and his prior history with tax disputes may have also made negotiations more complicated and less flexible. Over time, any delayed payments can also lead to additional interest and financial penalties, increasing the total amount owed if not resolved quickly. These kinds of legal and financial strategies can therefore become a balancing act between maximizing short-term liquidity and avoiding long-term costs. And that wraps up the situation for now. For more updates on boxing news, major events, and breaking moments from the sport, make sure to stay tuned and subscribe for the latest coverage.